only actor in this. So that is what happened with me also. Uh, After having great ambitions to be part of public utilities, entities at that time in VHL, I start, rather my beginning was in planning commission, so speeches. From where I got an opportunity to become part of VHL, and VHL itself was in former years. It had no corporate office, except for units countrywide. Distribution of the adjusted about VHL was independent. Created into a distribution. Yeah. And a great job was happening in VHL. He was a tremendous leader, motivator, and he led David to badly in VHL scarce. So, the only organized source of the river was specifically here is as my family was well. Or it was things. We had a very organized technical affairs. Or maybe someone with PWD. Not much. Wherever Mr. Krishmurthy who came in the day that must have had no less than 100 people in PSO. And 3, 4 times he's on Saturday. That kind of dynamism is really to be seen with any Jesus Christ. We achieve rest. From this, I see to receive it. We achieve rest. From this, I see to receive it is. Let's we achieve it. That another amazing transformation. So the path for me laid out by Almighty was written with that tree. And when it starts, DHL actually started in 60s itself. Yeah. The first unit was Trichy, acquired by the it was followed by Hyderabad, and then followed by Haridwar. And then we all used to be an independent company at that, associated with experts with the British Corporation, which we merged in BHL itself. We took over. So it was a 4 unit solution, but later on, a lot more were added also. Like Jhansi, transformers, some insulator factory in the constituency of Madam. And Madam Gandhi, I would say it was a legacy of Nehru family. Maybe few people, few of us know that whatever India is today, whatever I have, I can say, out of pride and satisfaction, it is only because of Nehru. He only gave slogan in the country. Only Shikshit Bharat is mixing. All educational issues took roots in this country. And they were in place when my schools. First batch is started out everywhere. Had we not got these issues and brightest of bright out of these issues, I wonder whether India had claimed this place of light glory where we are today. It absolutely, I would like to say, goes to any thought process. And even society was very simple. It is amazing that I can say something like 49 born as that prime minister, first generation mostly independent, and from a very, very humble background. So, yeah, anybody will not believe me. I can not with so humble background and sitting where we don't I have a message. But nevertheless, I will only share some touching experiences with me. I'm born brought up in Amritsar, a very small city. It's a most a border city in India. And there were hardly 250 families living in mahallas, we used to call it mahalla. The street, few streets put together. You know, the Halwai shop one sells milk. We will keep malai for me, believe me, हमारे मोहल्ले का पढ़ने वाला बच्चा है, फिर इसको मलाई की जरूरत पड़ेगी अगर हम उसके and no money for this. सोसाइटी बस so सिंपल और मोहल्ले में अगर किसी परिवार का बच्चा स्कूल में अच्छा कर रहा है, पढ़ाई में अच्छा कर रहा है, मेडिकल कर लेगा, इंजीनियर हो जाएगा, they will be brightest of bright. पता नहीं क्या मोहल्ले को बदल देगा उसकी रिकॉग्निशन भी बहुत अलग हो जाता है कि जिसमें पैसा कोई वैल्यू ही नहीं करता कि आपके पास दो पैसे नहीं है कि आपकी हर जरूरत कोई ना कोई पूरा कर ही देगा you are not to even think for tomorrow. Because life has changed. आज एक शरबत वाले की दुकान है मानते हो the temperature used to be extremely condition. वो शरबत वाला भी गर्मी में शरबत पिलाए बिना जाने नहीं देगा उसको अरे यार तो हमारा बनता ही है तो society was so simple so basic and probably that is what became the I would say a kind of a what should I say a sin to the society that rest of us wanted to build the best of the country, but left our own governance to the failures in the society. And that is the challenge we probably face more than anything else. But coming back to this technology today in this city is a power sector company, is one of the I would say largest in the country. We have 360-degree presence in power sector. We are EPC in power generation as we started initially. We are needing more of generation than in 90s came government. I will elaborate more on that as we go forward. And then we built digital grids out of the electromachine networks owned by certain CPSUs at that time. And interdigital load transfer capabilities, national grid building, grid code as a power transforming, then creating a POSCO as a power delivery, then regulating with setups in the country, and RLDCs backing up them. So, lot many great things have happened in this country. And then from 910 onwards, renewable power in this country happening. That started. Coming to Techno-Electric, I came in this company in 1980 by accident in 1970. I was happily working with a multinational bank with job hours and every day banks were getting nationalized. First nationalization happened in 69 when all the banks, major banks and gold mines were nationalized in this country. Second nationalization happened in 79 when Gandhi came back to power post emergency. So we all realize there is not much as far as bank is concerned. And this better to do nation building. So got an opportunity, this NTPC formed in 75, incorporated what once again in 77. They were keen that I be part of their team, but somehow the planning I happened to get a call and guided by very Mr. who was sacked post emergency. Post Madam Gandhi taking over regime, and he was at that time Secretary of Industries. He said, Gupta, don't work for any PSU. So, so that's a good one. So That is how we started our career with Robbie Shetty, first project of NTPC. And there was no look back on this company, Shetty or Mara, like an imagine about the agriculture. We are part of all NTPC units, some capacity of 10%. Uh, then let me first review how NTPC came in this country. Pre-independence, the power sector belonged to municipalities. Post-independence, it became a state subject. Still, as late as 74, it was broadly a state-owned subject and run by the very states itself. In 74, though Constitution had provided that sentiment exists, but it was never practiced politically. So the Krishnamurti was given the task to somehow obtain approval of the parliament that central government can formally be part of the process and do capacity creations. So then the policy was formulated first time that how NTPC or large capacity hydro projects or nuclear power projects can happen. And all these corporations were incorporated those time. Right? NTPC and SPC, the one corporation. Of course, DVC was existing already. This was the NIPCO came and many other hydro companies were formed. The mandate was to prepare the central government must not appear to be in competition to states. So they must do large capacity projects and states are capable of. So the decision of setting up NTPC was because we are largely coal dominated country and over 80% of the nation is in coal based solutions. So any NTPC project must be no less than a gigawatt. Right? It must be a bit so that it is not required to transfer coal. It must have a very good home system between the power plant and the coal plant. So that logistic cost in the coal was kept free at that time because we don't want to know the society with a very high cost of social resources by a corporate employees. We truly socialist as a constitution in the country. So coal was kept free, only royalty and mining costs were part of the corporation. And similarly, power was priced no more than what it was to start with. And endeavor was to build a world-class powerhouse. And we clear that should not be less than any other powerhouse, whatever the best scale will be. And all setups were created in specializations, and not like electricity codes, which have its specialized. Engineering group, quality group, contracting group, project management groups, site execution groups, backed by a lot of quality plans, manufacturer quality plans, field quality plans. So many processes were made on a transparently documented so that everybody knew everything and how to measure his performance. Both were important at that time. And they wanted to create local entrepreneurship. When we used to go to them, they used to teach us that how to control a media, how to do a field work, apply to field quality plans properly. So it was a quite a simulating exercise. Learning, I would say, you can divide it. It's a huge installation. You can divide it many islands. Shakti-Nagar was divided in 84 islands to start with 84. Like, 84 packages were made. Well, they wanted to build different specialization, faculties, companies in that space, which over 20 years then it was gone down to 18 packages solution. And probably today it is no more than 4 package solution as released. So BTG was a manufacturing package which belonged to some equipment manufacturers like VHA, but what really is and many companies like Techno was in fuel line handling systems, and that was one of them. water intake systems, water backup systems, piping networks, medium voltage, I will say cable networks, uh, which integrate the powerhouse fully. And similarly, power evacuation solutions like switchyards, inbuilt connectivity for that other end. So all these packages were what are competence of it going forward. And we can say with satisfaction that in some capacity or the other, work almost 50% of the installed capacity in India, whether it was hydro or thermal, the state electricity board or NTPC. But with electricity boards, we were being very choosy because the cash flows available with them. So unless they have a multilaterally funded project, we were shy to be part of that. But in NTPC, it was largely one-way body. So there was a little concern on the progress and prevention. So it was a good experience, I would say. The NTPC area, like there were seven enterprises at that time in the I-80s who had created evacuation networks as a policy mandatory to supply power to more than one state or state. So they had to do point-to-point networks. So we used to call them evacuation networks. They were all much together to create power grid in 1991. So that they started building thereafter national regional grids, low dispatch centers, and regulating power supply at that time. So it was pleasant to work with Bombay again, I would say, that in any size, scale, capacity, today bonded has about 25 stations countrywide. So I can say with satisfaction that more than 170 are built by technology, either as greenfield or brownfield, I can say. So then India wanted to liberalize its power sector in 92 like many others, but did not find many good investors despite assured returns. Other liberalization because of financial non-restructuring of the sectors. So then we opted to unbundle the sector. Airport bureaus. So sector was unbundled by one mandate in 1998 into Gencos, Transcos, and Discos. Today we have three sectors in power to three elements. Then each one of them was asked to create its own balance sheet so that each one of them knows its inefficient and knowledge. So that the counterpart will this to the private generator can accordingly be addressed. But then we had Vajpayee government in 99. We again took a call that privatization may not happen so soon in public infra, where power was also considered as a social infra that time. So we must go for one of the figure. So again, investments started happening through ESU rules. And many electricity boards were helped by giving turnkey contracts to the HER. Like in Northeast US, here you can say like Denmark or our projects happen in Rajghat and many other places as a contributions to EHK. But similarly, by that time, uh, a lot of privatization also started happening. I will say. So then we had electricity and audio order. So we had the Electricity Act in 2003, this country. We streamlined and answered many unanswered questions. And suddenly power sector became a kind of industry that investments started happening both in discoms, transports, as well as in Jaipur's secretaries. So business started flowing. Earlier it was either used to be Jaipur or transport or discoms. The discoms were rather not very members at that time also. Because major capex used to happen in Telcos, which was almost 5 crore per megawatt. Then Transco, which was about 2 crore a megawatt. And discoms was no more than 1 crore a megawatt. So every bureaucrat wanted to control major capex then last point reached to the Cuba, which was the discoms. So nevertheless, every uh, employee in power sector wanted to be mostly to discoms. Because that is a power position. But a chairman needed more capex. So he wanted to be one of the generals. But the chief the renewable power concession of those was very costly. As I said. Again, technology can proud this was the first scientific in one of the first scientific labs in nature was. In 910, we created 200 megawatts when others used to do with tax breaks. So we gave this entire policy to government, REC or RPO, that was state cannot bear the burden of creating the renewable power in the country and that every year to transition. So the burden must be shared by the government. So we framed a policy that obligation of the entire country must be 5% in 2019, rising by 1% per year. So that we are at 15% by 2020. That was the policy in place. And a lot of ICRP regulations were brought. Instead of tax breaks, we brought a policy, generation-based incentive, and how much power we generate, as a additional. In PPAs, we had kind of parameters in renewable power, either potential damage, which in solar was 50 at that time. But wind power was 560. So it was relatively stable. Coal capacity had not been at that because it was more affordable. But simultaneously, any solution brings its own challenges also. So we told electricity boards to follow a teaching concept, average pool power cost, so that whatever cost we place to commercial or conventional power, renewable and pay later on as it goes forward. And some part of the money went to REC certificates. So power exchanges were created. They were able to trade REC certificates on top of it additionally. So Technometrics project was funded by International Finance Corporation, a very successful project of Padam. But the policy was not much drawn because they had the back competitive companies. And that was Section 660, which now we call Section 50. Then we created strictly that the present government came and acted of creating almost 500 megawatt by it seemed impossible to achieve, but seeing the present progress, I think it's very much achievable. Or we may exceed it rather. It is so affordable that you are able to generate power at no more than 2.5 times when it comes to solar. And wind also is more or less at 3 times, very close. And already we had in this country is 200 megawatt, including hydro as a key block. So total capacity as the price is already around 90 crore. We are adding 50 gigawatt in, in this space. So, but so post COVID has played so important, which has done many good and many good. All. The good part is that India has become hugely digitized. The pace of digitization is something which is seem to be weak in this country. And digitization means now we have almost 80 crore users through an e-commerce, vendors, payment vendors, and logistics.
logistics.
Whatever you can
Whatever
think
you
of,
can think of,
everything is
everything is
digitized and all
digitized.
in the process of being digitized. So it is very
So it is
power
very
intensive
power
application.
intensive.
Hugely power
Usually,
intensive. So we are able to
we are
see now
able to
a
see
lot of
now.
growth happening in energy consumption. First time, which was roughly for 10 years,
You know,
the energy consumption in our country was known to the 900 units per capita, let's say, which is now
which
at
is
around
now
12.
at around 12.
Or maybe
Maybe
some people may
some
say
people
even
may
better
say, "Look,
because last year
our
the first
security
time it
is
was considered how
still
to
safe.
really
Really,
in the country. We might to really apply for our economy. So maybe around 13, 1400 units, which is
which is
expected to be
expected to be
1800 by
1800.
so corporate black process. So we need
So
to
we
add
need
more
to add
capacity.
more capacity.
The target
The
is
target
to have
is
800 megawatt
800
plus, where 300 megawatt
300 megawatts.
by 2030 is what we're installing as a CA.
As the CA,
We have
we
CA
have CA
from outside electricity, which plans
which
all these
plans
programs in terms of the advancements,
possible
programs of laying down the
laying
laws.
down.
So all
So
these
all these
solutions have
solutions
got their own advantages to us
is
as
to
well
us
as
as well
challenges.
as
And it is very
it's
innovative.
very innovative.
It's becoming more and more innovative ways and it's possible. Now,
You know,
integrate
integrate
renewable power
renewable
into it
power
is a
into it is a
challenge.
challenge.
For the way we
Because the
have
way we
developed
have
again,
defined again,
have created its own
created
challenge.
this challenge.
We have India had
India
different
did
ambitions.
ambitions.
Planning did
We
not
did
happen
not have
overnight.
supporters.
It rather
It
went
rather
down the
like
line. More capacity
more
has happened
capacity
in
as
key states also,
a
like Rajasthan, Gujarat, or so that has
that has
now rocked the
now
grid.
not been
Now the grid has
the
the
grid
ability
has
to
the
absorb.
ability to absorb.
You need a
You
lot
need
more energy power solutions.
solutions.
You need a lot more STATCOM solutions to be
Solutions
deployed to
to
stabilize the grid.
stabilize the grid.
So grid
So the grid
stabilization is a
stabilization
challenge.
is
Then
that
to transfer this
transform
renewable
this
power
renewable
from one
from
location
one
to another
location to
to
another
another level of
now
layer of
there
solution
of
called HVDC,
HPDC
high voltage
units.
direct energy transmission solutions, which are long distances.
Distances.
They are again two types, LCC to ESC. They are variable source converters or local converters, local load converters units. So all these
All
challenges
these
are
things are
becoming very, very innovative in our country to conceive them,
see that
deploy them in addition to that. So, and secondly, the
secondly,
scale
the
and size
scale
of
and size of
transmission
transmission
has become too
become
huge in
too
our
huge
country
in our
because the CUS
city
in a
in
renewable
a
power is
renewable
no more
power.
than 1.25. But you need a
But you need a
transmission
transmission
which is
delay
equivalent
which is
to
equivalent
100% of the installed
to
capacity. So the
so
each,
the heat
the voltage at which we are evacuating power terminals all go down to 765. There is no more 220 kV, 130 kV. So all solutions are at 750 over 765. Additionally, we need now thinking of 1100 kV grid is under planning in the country. So accordingly, you need the matching requirements and solutions around it.
solution
There are again lot of capacity building is required in this space.
space.
Additionally, we have
Additionally,
got
we
a
have
lot of reforms in distribution
distribution
because
because
in India,
in
the
India
losses in power
losses
sector. There was a
there
time when
is
we
a
used
time
to
when we
say
use usage of
that if you deliver 100 units,
units.
you will only
We will not
79
self
units because 25
because
is
25
lost.
is lost.
It's a
It's
TNT.
a TNT.
Many people will
Many
say
people would say
the transmission distribution
distribution
losses.
losses.
I may say they
We
were
will say
telling
they
and
were
avoiding. But they were not digitally tracked.
digitally tracked.
So now we have a lot of
We have
risk
lot of
conservation
risk
in
conservation
place.
in place.
The government emphasis
When
is to
emphasis
bring
is
down
to
the
bring down the
TNT losses
TNT losses
And this is the
And
first
this is
year
the
time
first year time.
when losses nationwide are contributing. It may vary from state to state, but nationwide it has come down to 15%. And first time, all discounts put together in the country have made a nominal profit of 2,000 CR. So that's a great satisfaction. No more is there. So a lot of distribution is not there. We are digitizing them. We are again one of the first companies to be part of the smart meter solution providers in the country. We are part of deploying a digitally e-government solutions in the DVC grid network. They have DVC grid network in their own their command area. It is all governed by E33 base stations. They have the EGIS station, transformers, and E-networks conduit, and all done by technology. And now you can run it from one roof, one centralized. So they precisely know which place, and because they are only ST licenses, they are not use LT licenses. So they know each consumer needs how much power. So power planning, scheduling, digital, I would say, has brought many advantages. Digital analytics today is so big a tool available in terms of and we are getting closer to smart grids where we can now plan, we can anticipate the demand. Earlier we were only trying to meet supply side planning on it because we always believe we are the same country in power. So which is no more. It's more or less the top of there. If a discount believes some consumer is not providing with power because it does not pay, or government wants it to be paid free, supply free. So that is his discretionary part. But otherwise he has a vision to supply to anybody and anybody 24 by 7 in this country. So digital governance is going to be a way of life in power sector. Use it. All the buyers, all consumers will have they will have apps on your mobiles. You can monitor your power system at home. You can switch off and on any system off remotely. So all kind of provisions are now becoming part of the solutions. Additionally, this phase I would say. So technologically, 360 degree, what I mean is we are not only as a solution provider, from concept to commission. Additionally, we are also have been asset owners like this house. We have competed with government for any other concession like Alliance or Starlight, 1 hour concessions. We created inmates into this place, India like great. To help Starlight and more capacity. Now, Ingrid, we are part of Ingrid also, building assets with them. And whatever assets we build for ourselves, we also monetize them by using our Ingrid. So, a lot of financial engineering is becoming part of our sector now, as a very traditional values. So it's a very exciting sector. We have come a long way, and it is a long way to go. Only thing lacking in the sector is that the promises given in the electricity act, we have not fulfilled. Now it is buying part of the pain and shipping. We have not made this sector B2C. It is still B2B largely. So consumer has not learned when you open electricity, you and once first, we provide you no other choice from whom to buy the electricity, like telecom. We have yet not given several of you. So Secondly, he also
Secondly, he
promised to
also promised to
generators they
generators
will be
they
given
will
open
be given
access,
open access,
which is not
which
given
is
even
not
today
given
in
even
many
in the
states for restricted
restricted
policies or
policies or
restricted charges on
restricted
top,
zero
like
like
surcharges,
subsidies
unnecessarily to
necessary to
discourage
discourage
the export of
the
our
export of
state.
our state.
Or government
Or
wants to
government
believe
wants to be
my creamy
my
layers should not be
creamy should
taken
not
away
be
by
taken away by
somebody.
someone.
So they want to
So they
hold on
want to
to
hold on to
the mix of the
renewables we create
non-political in outlook SCRCs or
or
CRCs are not
CRCs
very, very pro-society.
low society.
It's wrong on my part to say. What a Supreme Court may again tell me to chapter 8 of NCR box. But the truth is this that our regulators are not here to no comment and they are not then, but still we have a lot of regulatory judiciary bodies come. But this act was not meant to see so much of it. It is unfortunate, I would say. It was more to improve the productivity, more to improve the quality of our economy, the reach of our and availability of our so that our proper grid codes are in place, our proper let me tell you, state, there are two regions we live in our country, intrastate, interstate. They are both very, very different and in performances. We, many people say, we have one electricity act, we have one grid, and one electricity act, and one national grid. But we have 28 places out of the same act. So no SCRC follows the other SCRs. It's very, very localized. So these challenges are, I'm sure, we are coming along and going forward, we will further resolve all of that. So with this, I will put the subject open to debate. I will only say there are huge opportunities in power engineering, power project management, power commercials, power digitization. So as many careers you mentioned, it's a huge playground for all other youth, not limited like us. Again, in our times, our first mandate was, I'm going to catch up my 50 years with you. Our first mandate was the only air solution in power sector from Mr. Brock. I can check his Polish, Russian, Scottish, and how to provide spares for that was the first mandate. That we brought Singapore by technology transfer and build solutions around gas turbines, frame 6, frame 9 was starting with Hyderabad and steam turbines were made in Hyderabad, Haridwar, which were earlier based on Russian technology. And holding on to professionals was no easy. So the sector has come thereafter rationalizing, but I'm sorry to say here, not a single power sector equipment is patented by any. All are patented by foreign countries. We have all kinds of foreign countries, whether it is British, French, US, German, but nothing in our power sector. And they are the major producers also. So a lot of Indian companies are producing designs are. So we cannot claim best. It is India, like China, replicated story towards the other way around. When they went for privatization, 95, they made sure all professors of the universities were made partners to the state-owned enterprises. So China is an engineers-made country, and we are a country of bureaucrats. and it is more
it's more
dominated by
dominated by
machines than
than
engineers.
engineers.
That's my favorite
It's
idea.
like we
And we wish to do
we
many
wish to do
things,
many things,
but more foreigners come because we have not invested in
investing
ourselves, and we have never,
we have
nor our systems reward
systems
ourselves.
things.
Because many of the
The
processes
only
are not
process is
nicely done. It is always
is
L1.
always an
So L1 is always cannot explain more. So the minimum standards every society has to define itself, practice itself, and provide for us. And again, for technology, I can say one thing. We never came in this as a business, came as a nation building issue. And all projects done by this company were bridging. From a distance, you can see technical activities about this. Even today, if you go to any office, very clearly
very
there
clear
will be
and
a dispatch. Because we don't
because
need
we
to
know
be
we are
perfect,
right.
whoever they want. Whoever that's it will know, but it's ultimately that part of the use. It has to serve, it must serve that problem. It must not need anything else. It must be needless. And its life must be more than 35 years is a defined community life. But why it cannot be the sufficient for which yes. Unless it is technologically absolute. So all those features you
Features
mentioned,
you
we are
we are
I'm not the
I
owner
am
of
not
the
working in that.
I was that
I
point of
want
this
I
company.
want this
God gave me the opportunity to be
really
here.
really
So it's a
it's a
collaborative
quality
of
of
including many of
including
our
many of
knowledge.
knowledge.
Yes. So I'm ever grateful
I'm
to
not
this
ready
issue
to this issue.
for giving us your
Even though
brightest
you
of
write a
lights
strong
to build this company in the city of
this city of
I can say we hold the
city
place of others in the sector,
the city
the city,
city
with this
this
open the chapter.
chapter. So it sounds nice.
For the students, one question
One
is how to prepare themselves
prepare
for
themselves for
emerging scenarios.
emergency
There will be
scenarios.
change in the way
Change in the way
investment is happening in renewables,
renewables,
storage industry,
storage industry,
in battery
in
storage.
batteries.
How do
How
they
do they
kind of prepare? They can just
prepare? They can just
plan
prepare
to prepare
to
to become
get
industry
not
professional.
just
And
professional.
while thermal remains as the base
Remains
flow, renewable is where the incremental investment is happening by new age industrial base. So that is one area in some sense how one should prepare for renewable research that is happening right now. Look, you were which two, three
Two,
questions.
three
Let me
questions. Let me
clear them out. Each one.
please
First, my advice to all of
advice
you
to
is
all
don't go for money.
money.
Let money
Let
follow.
money follow.
If you leave yourself
Keep yourself
and invest in
and
yourself,
invest in yourself.
and
And
learning should only
learning should
be
only be
method
method
that I am
I am
competent,
competent.
I will remain time relevant, and I must attempt to be
I
ahead
will
of
be
time
ahead of
possible. Sky is the limit
sky
for
is
each
the
one
limit
of
for
us.
each one of
Yes, let's say that.
us.
Something. Other parameters are as evolving. They are they will come as a challenge. And as you solve one challenge, it will come with a new set of challenges. Let's, Mr. Goswami has raised a
Swami
very
has
simple
raised a very
question,
simple question.
but question is not so
Question is
simple
not so simple either.
because it is obvious for anybody and everybody.
One
Today,
renewable has
the
become
cheapest
the
source of
cheapest
power.
source of power.
If I can
If I
produce a
can
power
produce a
management
power,
power, then why will I like to
usually I
use
like to
it?
use
Number one. And number two, I
and
have
number
not
two, I have
known
not known
when
it.
it will get
It will
produced and
use
how much it
and
will
how
get
much it will
produced.
get used.
Because no rotating machine is involved there. Now, this is a challenge. Nature, you
Nature,
have no
no
regulation on that.
regulation.
How much wind
How much
blows
wind
when,
blows when,
which part of
which
India. We are a blessed country.
this
That is not
country,
other country.
country,
You have so much of
so
natural
much
resources that probably that is why India,
India,
erstwhile objective contributors, we were always called the golden place to be. And I truly believe we are.
India,
When I look around and when things are unfolding itself, okay, I think we are truly सोने की चिड़िया. सब कुछ तो किया ऊपर
so
से.
yeah,
अभी भूल गए
ये
रास्ता.
भूल गए
उसका क्या किया है? But now, as world is
one
struggling to
is free to
rediscover itself,
rediscover
he is reaching
he
more
is
to
reaching
India
more
than
to
India
India
is
than
reaching
India
to
is
itself.
reaching to itself.
That's what I believe. So that is the issue.
That is the issue.
That if we
If
Indians
we
read
Indians
ourselves
read
and
this,
innovate ourselves and govern
one
ourselves
of sense,
for our,
one
eternity, prosperity of our coming generations and society, sky is the limit.
is the limit.
But our governing
Our
processes are truly
processes
not.
are truly not.
That is the challenge
That
we have.
is what we have.
And I don't know what is the
Our
answer.
potential.
So that answer too we will have to
We
find.
will have to find.
And you want to be
You want
candidates,
to be
you
candidates,
the place to
the
do
place
and you are carrying
you want
But if you want money, go to post
to go
office.
most
In India, we have few
wealth
wealth creators and more wealth managers.
years.
And they are more rich in the
What
market
is
than
the
the
market
workers. But more engineers are in
engineers are
non-engineers
not
jobs.
engineers jobs.
So engineers have to
Engineers have to
find
find
their
right
own
in their
profession.
own profession.
And there is no dearth of
Not
opportunities.
opportunities.
I can assure you that. It is a struggle.
It is a struggle.
You may have to struggle
They have to struggle for
for
life.
but you will find your own
If you are only this
Now coming to
moving
renewable
to
energy and
renewable
storage,
energy and storage.
because I produce
Because I
power and
produce power and
now I don't want to use
so
power. So now how do I store
you
power?
are stored.
Now you cannot
You
consume all
cannot
the power
control
of
all
the country. However, you are able to use. So the next solution
the
is
next
to
question
store.
is to store.
Till yesterday,
And
we never
yesterday
needed
we
to
never
store
needed to
it.
store it.
Because in
Because in
thermal
thermal
evaporated conversion, you knew how much
you
you
give
use.
inputs.
And you are always
You are
balancing
always
the
balancing
demands
to the demands.
by regulating the
Regulating
supplies.
the supplies.
Now you have a
So
supply
it
side
is
which is not regulated. So now how do you handle it? So obviously the whole world is now looking for solutions. How to store
to
this
store
renewable power. It is not
is
India's
not
problem.
India's problem.
But India is in
But
a
India
win-win
is in a
situation
win-win
now.
situation.
But China is my
China
side
is
of
my
us.
side.
They are also
Yes.
whether it is a battery storage or floating storage or hydrogen is the
So
answer
is the answer.
or ammonia
Or
is the
ammonia
answer.
is the answer.
Question is now
Question
how to
is
store
how to
energy
store it.
and create mobility of
And
change. That is where
that is
the
where the
future lies in
future lies in
this.
this.
But still, which
But
is a
still,
better
which is a
answer,
better.
we are yet to
We
find
are
out.
trying to find out.
Because batteries
Because
itself
batteries
have
itself have
again a revolutionary change in terms of the designs. We never built batteries for wind
batteries
scale
for
and today what we are doing, we are doing containerized batteries which we used to use for vehicles or some domestic applications or for some standby applications in the power stations for DC power as a starter power. So those are the solutions we are considering them. Gigawatt scale and start thinking of deploying them. PMS processes that defend that solutions and making them real compatible additionally. But truly speaking, an efficient battery capable of giving a backup to the grid in gigawatt scale and where you store
energy
and are able to
if
retrieve
you retrieve
99 or 95
that will be achieved.
we are long way to
The
go.
only way to go
This is a
is
some place
some place
to R&D need to be
to
done.
be
Now let me give you
Let
another
me give you
case.
another case.
Recently in our
Recently,
country,
our
the act has been
food
brought
has
for
been
challenge
launched.
because the present government is
Government
excellent
is excellent.
labeling
Using the channels.
renewables. And as if by deploying nuclear
Think
power,
would be a
you will get
you
sharp, peace louder. It makes you more peace. But the wonderful part is India is
India
blessed
is
among by nature, by
education.
global. We have thorium in our country.
Okay.
I don't have
No
uranium
one
in
is
my country.
really fine.
Now, nobody has
Nobody
even
can
1 day
have
of
one
thorium.
day of salt.
We have yet not
We have
spent
yet
a
not
rupee
spent a rupee on
to make thorium equivalent
equal
to uranium.
equal
And why world will
and
come and
world
use
will
it
come
for
and
you?
use
You own 70% of it. Why anybody else will spend
it.
for your prosperity? Why? So you just have to
Just
find it out.
from the
And we are lazy people.
IC's work.
We have a lot of
Yeah,
money,
people
but we have
will
no money in fund. So that is our challenge. So now we go for small capacity, fast reactor, nuclear trigger, heavy doing post uranium, that is a foreigner's game. So ये geopolitics है, या technological requirement है, but we are flowing with the wind. But ultimately, India needs to find a reactor which truly works on thorium. The day we achieve it, never reduce. The whole world will change us. Yes, sir. Any questions from any student?
Plus, for wonderful journey, starting from the inception of ESU's schedule of our university. Uh, After graduating from law school, I worked briefly with the power sector when it was cusp of being privatized in 1995. Power industry was, I think, a very lucrative option at that time with the per tariff formulation that was proposed initially, 68.5% DLS as the normal. Since then, colleagues, juniors who have been working in the power industry, primarily the operating stations, they are constantly reporting a rising stress because the plants have to cycle a lot, maintaining the plant becomes kind of difficult, and profitability arising basically the rising demand of the business. It's a stress that is being developed amongst the people in the operating power plants. Currently, you have heard similar stories, even starting from people in the CSCs or in plants. Uh, what is your take on that? Because as you mentioned that it's a promising area. It's a promising area and it's still thriving. We are having a much better trade scenario. Even as a consumer, we are much better trade. The quality of power that we get is significantly better. But yet, those who are in the business, they have progressively rising level of stress. How do you
So let me
So
answer
the
your question.
way
I have to answer.
you want
Right? It's very
to
perfect answer to your question.
answer your question.
Look, this
So
challenges were of
really one of
90s
my
already right. Since then, the very
then
technology and generation
technology
have
generation one
advanced
wants to
immensely.
change.
Today
We have
we had normal combustion
normal
cycle processes in us. Then we went to
then we have
critical
different
cycle
cycle
processes.
process.
Then we went to
Then we have
supercritical cycle
supercritical cycle
processes.
process.
Now we have
Now
ultra
we have
supercritical cycle
critical
processes. So all these
so
are
only
being
the being
enhanced
and has
now
the
using these
using
equipments
this
very remote
very
and
important
very
very
digital. And each
And
unit
each
is no less
unit
than
is no less
600
than
megawatts.
600.
What I used
But
to
I
consume
use to
2.5 kg
consume
of 1 unit of power in 90s.
90.
Today I am able to
Today I
use
am
by
going to
5
use my
kg.
5 kg.
As a
As
input
a
material.
input
So
material,
is my
so
water
is my
consumption.
water consumption.
So is my
So is my
emission
emission
levels.
levels.
Then by
By
installing ESPs which are
ESPs,
more pronounced on
now
the
slowly.
emissions,
Emissions,
mass ppm
mass,
availability in the air. Similarly, HVAC emissions in terms of the gas quality control. Look, as a stress, it
this
should
stress, it
never
should
challenge any part of the society, I can say. If you ask me,
If
I've
you ask
always
me, I
lived
have
under
always lived
stress.
under stress.
I've started enjoying my
Right?
stress. Because that's a challenge
It's
one
a
need to
challenge.
ignore. So the question
The
is, a
question is,
powerhouse
a powerhouse
operations
operations
job
job
has never
is
been that
developing
exciting and
exciting
demanding
and rewarding.
as much vast
It's much
towards
faster towards storytelling,
giving connection to
giving
household
connection to households.
I recently discovered that
Discovered that
everybody will give
everybody
solution to
gives
somebody who
solutions
gives
to somebody who
connection in
gives
your
connection.
house. Rather than a
And
person
it's
maintaining
very
one boiler in a powerhouse. In a remote
important.
province. Who will go there? So these issues have
These
been
issues have
part of
been
every
part
sector.
of every
So how can you
How
compare
can you compare
somebody sitting in
this
Calcutta with somebody sitting in Prakash? Or Prakash? So that challenge is
challenge
relevant.
is
Some people
relevant
in
to people
society
in society?
always invest
Always
one
invest
rest of the
what the rest
society.
of the society.
Balancing one
This is one
our mighty has always played with
always
us.
very nice.
I did not go to his profession as much being part of that profession. All the electrical colleagues say, Gupta, you are stupid in this sector. But why did you not retire as a chairman of some bank? I was a part of one bank here in business bank. I was acting chairman of Standard Chartered. Why I have to be in this journey of creating my own
My
excellence
own
in my
excellence.
space. So called relatively. So these are your own
These are your own
mindsets. What
mindset.
satisfies you,
Satisfied
you have to find
you
in
have to
yourself.
find in yourself.
Whether you are a
You are
struggler,
a
you are a
struggler, you
fighter,
are a fighter,
you are a
you
change
are a
agent
change
in the
agent
society,
in society.
you want to
You want
only live with
to
status
live in
quo,
status quo,
or you only
or
want
what
to
is
be happy with whatever your
whatever
parents have left for them and enjoy the rest of the life. It's no choice, belongs to yourself. You exercise the choice and you know what your consequences. I have enjoyed my choices. Someone which has come from my perspective of Somo Bhattacharya. How
how
important AI
important
will be in
AI
the
will
power
be in the
sector
power
in the
sector
next 5 years.
in 5 years.
So this is AI. It's so plain. He's really a wonderful development. And it is going to impact
Going to
our
impact
life. And definitely
and
we need
definitely
it
we
also.
need
Tremendous. Today, all our
it. All our
AIs,
AI,
all what we call advanced BT infrastructure solutions, all our softwares are loaded with AI. Let me say, they are now part of it. So we can very
we can
easily
very
discern
easily discern
who is
who
using
is
the
a
power,
using
not paying for it, or playing with the
playing
house.
phones.
Like we are the
We
first
are the
company
first
with JNK to upgrade their power
their
system
power
when nothing
system.
happened
We are
for
not
30
happen for
months. Every government
every
was
government.
the concept was very
It's
simple,
not very
having
simple having
connection of
connection of
maximum 1
maximum
kV,
1
1.5
kV, one and
kV,
a half
put a servo in the
Yes,
house,
house.
upgrade it to 10 kV, and work on it. So now you can detect it more easily and switch it off
And switch it off.
before it does something nonsense. So AI is definitely
Definitely
in the place. But how, and it's more applications, I would say.
applications
find out, discover, and
So
support.
EMP loss will come
Not
down
not
and
not
that will
not
economy come
like
down
not
to
not not
15%. AI application
yeah
will
yeah
bring it down further.
How can we have achieved 15% out of experiencing 32% in 2020? You can see the reduction.
see the reduction.
Any other question? Sir, I
So
got
I
one
from
question from my
my
dad
family
related to online. So he was asking
last
whether
winter
these renewables are really
was
affordable or it will be affordable in our country as power. What is your opinion on that?
yeah.
Sir, let me put it. Say power is a
Our
necessity.
is a necessity.
You cannot
You
imagine
cannot
the quality
imagine
of
the
life
quality of life.
without electricity or power. So I had to have
I
a source
had
of
the source.
energy. Now,
It
relatively,
was
if you ask
relatively
me,
vast.
renewable
Renewable
is very
is
cost
very
effective. It is cost
it
effective.
is cost effective.
Now, the
Now
stupidity
the
is our
stupidity is
governing
our
processes.
governing process.
Our tariff
Our
mechanisms are
mechanisms about
where we have not
we
brought
have not
market
brought market
reforms in place
in
like
place.
that. Like, let me take the
We take
example
the
here
example
of 95.
95.
Many of you would not experience. If you used to get
We
tariff
used to
in
get
our
tariffs
house,
in
we
our
used to
house,
distribute sweets.
streets.
After
We are seeing or hearing about my generations of say hydro or wind or sometimes solar, say rooftop solar panel. So is it a real solution or what is the problem to connect these type of
These type of
devices with the
devices.
look, absolutely there is
Absolutely, there is no
renewable power.
renewable
What we
power.
call the
We
title
call
of the power
item of
is distributed.
distributed.
That's first
That's
problem.
what's complicated now.
If it is
If it is distributed,
it ought to be
it
deployed
only deployed distributed.
why it should be
It
deployed
should be
like in
deployed
thermal
in
power
a
house?
normal.
Why I have to
We
create
have
the
to
solar
create a
park of
solar
a
park
megawatt
with
scale?
a power scale.
I fail to understand.
It was
So, a
a
rooftop power is
rooftop
not
power is not
the problem is your
no
tariff
is your mechanism.
and the comfort
In the
zone of
comfort
distributors, distributing
distributing
or discoms
discoms
because he does not
because
want
he
to
does
give you
not want to
that
give you net entry
because he knows
because
all
he
these
knows all these
inefficiencies are part of
inefficiencies.
his tariff. There is no
There is
competition
no
in
competition
between.
in between.
All
All
inefficiencies are tracked
inefficiencies are
together
tracked
by a
together.
government called ARR, annual revenue
And
report
what they
of discom. And we create
and we
tariffs
create
monthly
tariffs
continuously. So that
so that
every
they
utility remains cash
raise
net.
cash net.
There is no cash net
No cash.
at that document. So all these
So all these converted into
all
that.
is passed
All
on
is
to the
passed on to
consumer.
the consumer.
But nobody has asked
Nobody has
question in
asked
this
question
country.
in this country.
If you
If
generate
you
power
generate
through a
power
government
through
bill, why in my house
in
power
my house power comes at 12 rupees.
where 9 rupee goes?
9 rupee goes.
Nobody asked this
Nobody
question.
asks these questions.
Who takes away 9
Who takes away
rupees?
9 rupee?
Somebody is stealing.
Somebody is stealing.
So if
So
distributing power, taking grid is no
there is
challenge.
no challenge.
It is simplest of
The
the simple.
simplest way is
Distributing.
distributing.
Then grid also becomes
It
distributed.
becomes
That is what I
distributed.
should.
That's what I should.
India is
India
at
is
800
800
districts.
districts.
Had we done
And we
bottoms
do
up,
bottoms
I
up.
would have
And
deployed
we
power
deployed
in
power
400
in
districts.
400 districts.
Out of 800.
Okay,
Even if I say
25 say
400,
400
at least 200
at least
plus.
200.
So even 2
So even
megawatt,
2
one district
megawatt
would
per
have
district would have
given
given
you
the
why you have to do
and you
100
have to do
megawatt in
100
one state?
megawatt once.
And then say,
Then
my
so
three phase 4 times a day. And so whenever my
whenever
three phase
you
98 megawatt goes out, it is so lumpy now. So who created these problems? The way you deploy it. Implementation is wrong.
implementation is wrong.
But it does not mean
It does
municipal
not mean
power
that
has
the
that
power
power
is
is better. It's for the
It's
own
your
way to
own
apply
way
the
to
result.
apply the result.
The way you want to
Where
make
you
them
want to make them
commercially
virtually
economic.
economic.
A consumer has a
The
right,
human
but
has
it's
a
very
right, but
important
it's very
for both
important.
government and renewable power needs in that flexibility. So net metering should be
It
allowed,
should be
not very clear.
That is like a skill in the power.
But technology wants to
one
practice.
to purchase.
That's a threat to them. That's a problem. So if you only find
You only find availability.
many states
Many
give free
states
power.
give free.
So Modi ji
So
came out
Modi
with
ji came
another
out with another
communication. He
communication.
said, let
He said,
rooftop
let
give
us
free
talk
power.
again free market.
One time funding
And
and
working and done.
so you are lifetime powers.
Hours.
So I have to get
Why
on.
you have to get power?
So what have you really solved
You
the
really
problem?
solve the problem.
Question yourself.
Seriously.
Did you get the question?
Students want to ask you. Very interested. No, but one question is, we always see policy fluctuation in the power
To the
sector.
power sector.
For example,
For example,
on 2 years
on
back,
2
there
years
was
back,
a
there
lot
was
of discussion
this
and policy implementation regarding FGTs.
safety.
And now again, I
Now
think
again, I
that
think
the government has changed the
is the
regulation.
regulation.
Now FGT
Now
is not
it is not
many of the
many of
companies
the
they
companies
have
they have
power
made
plants,
the
they have
farm
already installed
is
FGT.
called
Now they're
they're
simply bypassing
bypassing
systems in their plants. So these are unnecessary and wasting.
wasting.
Look, sir,
So
the problem
the problem
is
is here.
our mindset.
Our mindset,
Learning
it's a
process.
learning process.
And
At
sometimes
some
we are
time,
all chasing ambitions. And to be
and
honorable,
honorable
ambition, achievements.
achievements.
Probably
Probably
had Trump
and
come back as a president of America, and he had
he had
not
not
refused to
refused
endorse
to endorse
the very
the
policy
very
of
policy of
additions. Again, playing
again
the
playing the post on
in 1920.
1920.
The issue
The issue arose from there
that
that
admission
mission
now
again has become clear.
number two,
Number two,
many
many in India we
policies in a very
very
massive
massive
scale
scale
which are not required. In particularly power sector,
Only
correct. Like let me tell you, we will deploy
we will
smart
apply
meters. So our policy
we say
in
in 5 years
we will do
we will do 250 million.
if somebody asks
Somebody asks
where from this
where from this
50 million number
50 million number
and why you have to
and
do
you have
it
to
in
go
5 years
in
of
5
time.
years.
When out of maybe 250 million, 100 million
100 million are already enjoying free power.
So the
So
answer
the
will be
answer will
always
be
bureaucrats. Gupta, what is the natural
natural
limit?
is
140 crore का population है उसको size पाँच से divide करो 250 आने
so I
250 million होता है तो हमने तो हर घर में
smart meter
तो issues हमारे
issue
mindset
हमारे
में है
mindset
क्या
में
5 साल की बात करेंगे
करेंगे
लेकिन प्रोग्राम 15 साल चलेगा
हमारा
5 साल में फिर कुछ
फिर
अचीव
कुछ चीजें
उसके लिए हम
उसके
फंडिंग
लिए हम नहीं कर
वही एलजीडी का
एलजीडी का
हमने स्कीम
स्कीम
बनाई
बनाई तो
उस समय दिमाग
दिमाग
लगाया
लगाया
5 साल में सब जीरो कर दिया लेकिन इसमें कितना बड़ा कैपेक्स है समझ नहीं आया जो 50 लाख रुपया मेगावाट से काम हो रहा था वो एट द टाइम इन्फ्लेशन के चलते द कॉस्ट रीच टू 1 करोड़ अब आपका 5 करोड़ के प्लांट में 1 करोड़ मेगावाट मशीन को लगा रहे और why is it and why in all points then obviously some people belong to ABC categories. Then they thought let A category be done first, B and C category. Or what he said, B and C said let B and C wait. Time being. If the flora fauna of that location of that remote pocket is not getting
is not
impacted by
getting
your emission at that given time, which is as much
which
in
is
a
as
low
much
mobility zone. So probably it's a
probably
wise call
it's
to
a good call
use
to
green
use
capital.
green capital.
If you have abundance of capital,
That's
you
okay,
must do
but
it.
you must do it.
But if you have a limited
We
capital,
limited
then it's a different
it's
problem.
a good
By doing ABC
doing
capital.
ABC capital.
But going ahead with the
Going
program
ahead
and
with
putting back after, that's it. Returns that to the
First
society.
to the
Because you have already done 20, somewhere 30%, somewhere 20%. No discount
what
is
is
able
called
to say
for
whether to carry forward or stop. That decision making is again not. So, in our country, problem is a decision. In 2020 in a state option, that is all. There is a lot of body of private sector of generation. Thermal is largely owned by private sector. 65% capacity thermal belongs to private sector. State only owns 75%. 15% NTPC and plus 15% balance with states. The rest is all private sector. So they will always be reluctant to invest this kind of money unless they are assured of as a tariff master. Firstly, 4-year agreement because there was no order that this capex will be eligible for tariff. But power is developing as a reaching every day. Despite being no technology will bring it close to the market. You, however, you may like to hold back. You cannot hold back the markets. It will always move forward with market. Consumer will start policies. So private sector was found. We don't know what. My PPA has no validity now. You may have signed PPA 15 years back or 10 years back or 25 years. But do we really need PPA anymore in this sector? That's again a question mark. And out of the PPA, how much nobody has carried on. Sir, in thermal, we always have to do part fixed cost, variable cost. You will see most of these states are paying fixed cost. Hardly power is being bought by them. Very steadily. The thermal PLF in this country is no more than 5%. So this sector has always worked on a clean creation. Because you are not prepared for something else. And you are also not knowing this situation. Because you have not planned seriously. That is a big challenge of this. And that is the opportunity. If there is a challenge, there is a but innovate how to make deliverable as well as profitable. So that is the magic. So this sector will always remain because if you look back the history of India, at least three times you have given VRS 10,000, you have taken 10,000 people on contract. What the hell we are doing in this country? It's not a job. Now it's considered. I don't know if you have to get YouTube. That's so much. I don't know what I'm saying. Now, 180 megawatts of ultra supercritical capacity in next 4 years. We need capacity. There is no waste from. And otherwise, also there is not much energy which you are in the future. So where it should come from, it should come from under supercritical power. Then where is the improvement? Now there is a BHL and LLD and Adani has bought out. Strong, strong. Now others are going, what to do? Go to China. Go back to China. I think I can open my mouth. Come here, come here.
Uh, Sir, today is a month of February. You can call it the starting of summer day. So why we cannot use the solar cell everywhere? Because there's a lot of heat outside, heat and light outside.
I'm not able to hear you.
Okay, may I speak Bengal? তার মানে আজকে ধরে এই যে ফেব্রুয়ারি শুরুর দিকে আচ্ছা হিন্দি ओके तो अभी अभी से ही बहुत गर्मी हो रहा है कि समर का शुरुआत ये क्योंकि हम लोग सोलर से भी यूज करते हैं
समर में सोलर से कितनी यूज हो रहा है you should first please understand this. Solar and sun has to do nothing. Yeah, you first have to do the calculation. और कोई मनाही नहीं है यूज करने बस टेक्निकली देरी होगा सोलर सेल यूज करके क्या थोड़ी करेगा और फील्ड में जहाँ भी गर्मी है इंडिया में तो टेम्परेचर इज डिफरेंट इन डिफरेंट जोन्स सदर्न जोन है वहाँ टेम्परेचर वेस्टर्न जोन है जहाँ टेम्परेचर अगर हम इस कंट्री में बैलेंसिंग करना सीख जाए पूरी तो आप देखेंगे 50% हो गया
सर मेरा प्रश्न अगर मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ कि मतलब सोलर की मतलब से सोलर हर जगह सोलर से लगा सकते हैं
बिल्कुल लगा सकते हैं क्यों नहीं वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ क्या फर्क क्या पड़ेगा अगर राजस्थान में सीयू है बात पड़ेगा तो बंगाल में पॉइंट क्या होगा तो सोलर सेल तो काम करेगा the CU application capacity utilization the power produced will be 10% more
सर राजस्थान में पूरा सोलर
because that is a desert area बिल्कुल है अब हो क्या ये राजस्थान तो वहाँ
इसका मतलब दिक्कत क्या होता है कि हर जगह मतलब सोलर सेल पे कॉस्ट ज्यादा पड़ता है सोलर सेल बनाने में तो इसीलिए शायद हम लोग मतलब सारी जगह प्रोवाइड नहीं कर सकते तो ऐसा नहीं रहा
अच्छा नहीं है अब आपसे कहीं भी बनाइए आज इंडिया में हमने पहले हमारे यहाँ पैनल बनते थे चाइना से आ रहा था बहुत तब गवर्नमेंट ने इंडिया पॉलिसी अब सेल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग लेकिन हमारे पास अर्थ मटीरियल उसको पहले डेवलप करना होगा इंडिया में
सर मान लीजिए सोलर से हमारे पास कम है मानते हैं इसके ऊपर एक अगर लार्ज कॉन्वेक्स मीटर कन्वर्जिंग लेंस यूज करते हैं यूज करने के बाद उसको जो रेट ऑफ लाइट है कन्वर्ट करके अगर जो एरिया होता है सोलर सेल का वो मान लीजिए कम कर देते हैं मान लीजिए कि हम लोग 10 मीटर स्क्वायर का एक कन्वर्जिंग लेंस यूज किया उसके ऊपर जितना सा रेस पड़ेगा वो कन्वर्ट करके मान लीजिए मेरे हमारे पास आ रहा है 1 मीटर स्क्वायर तो वो जो पहले जो 10 मीटर स्क्वायर का सोलर सेल लगा था वो 1 मीटर स्क्वायर में ही हो जाएगा ऐसा नहीं कर सकते
but what you are telling it is closer to solar thermal so आप कह रहे हैं this is going towards converting power energy and raising the temperature right it will go to temperature rise उससे हम water को boil कर लेंगे but that process works solar thermal और फिर बॉयल वाटर से आप स्टीम बना लीजिए बॉयलर लगा के और स्टील टरबाइन
Steam
चलाते हैं सोलर पैनल्स लगा है इलेक्ट्रिक लेकिन वह पावर बिकम्स इवन मोर कॉस्ट तो अगेन दैट कॉस्ट
हाँ मैं मतलब सर मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि अगर जैसे 100 मीटर स्क्वायर 10 मीटर स्क्वायर 10 मीटर स्क्वायर का अगर सोलर लग रहा है उसके ऊपर अगर एक कॉन्वर्जिंग लेंस यूज करते हैं तो ग्लास लेंस से मेड ऑफ ग्लास और ग्लास क्या तो सोलर से कॉस्ट कम ही पड़ेगा बहुत कम पड़ेगा ठीक है बट हाँ कॉन्ट्रास्ट उसके नीचे एक सोलर
This
सिस्टम
is
है
one
जो मान लीजिए जो
one
1
minute.
मीटर स्क्वायर वाला
This is
सोलर
one
पैनल
just
लगेगा
like
पावर
complicated watch especially thinking of what it should that made us
this
basis
is basis to know people to know.
you have
You
some
are so
solutions uh, which is the future
This is future.
of this technology.
okay sir
Welcome.
thank you any more question okay so sir we are almost close to the end so as there is no more question we will finish the session so before that I will request Joy to hand over a small gift to sir as a token of appreciation.
He one of you have any queries. Our office is just in Pasha. And one of you have lunch.
We have a very small memento, so I will request of the person and the person to Sir, this is really an excellent session because as you have already heard that sir is a technologist, an entrepreneur, and over, over that, a visionary also. Because the history which he unveiled here, that is really something. Starting from 70s to now, and maybe 10, 15, 20 years future, this journey we would reveal through your talk. So we are really thankful to you, sir, and thanks to you for providing your time from your busy schedule. And because we know that you have done our study.
My classroom.